Assalamualaikum and hello. My name is Muhammad Afizuddin bin Abu Yazid and my number metric is 70555. My supervisor for my final year project is Mr. Heng Chin Seong. Today, I will present my final year project, which is the title is Select Factor Affecting the Success of Recruitment and Selection. Next, we will go through the table of content. On the chapter 1, I have 7 things that I need to cover it, which is firstly background of study, statement of problem, objective, research question, hypothesis, conceptual framework, and lastly is distribution of study. On the chapter 2, I have 2 things, which is past research literature and theory. And the chapter 3, which is research methodology, have 4 things. Firstly, research design, population of study, data collection, and lastly is data analysis. Now we go to the chapter 1. First thing in the chapter 1 is background of study. Recruitment and selection are critical components of an organization's human resource strategy and competitiveness. With the labor market becoming more flexible, recruitment is increasingly vital in today's business. The primary purpose of the recruiting and selection process is to secure a sufficient quantity and quality of personnel to assist the company in achieving its objective and growing in the future. As a result, recruiting and selection aid in the creation of a pool of potential employees for the firms from which management can select the best candidate for the best role. Then, according to Bills and Holmberg 1918 and Jabati 2012, because recruiting the incorrect individuals or failing to foresee change in higher needs can be costly, it's critical to make deliberate efforts in human resource planning. And the last but not least, this study is aimed to investigate what are the critical selective factors that can be a success of recruitment and selection process. Now, we go to the statement of problem. According to Leopard 2002, recruiting is seen as a positive process of generating a pool of candidates by reaching the right audience suitable to fill the vacancy. According to the study by Timothy and Herla 2018, that study the factor affecting the success of field of recruitment selection program at real estate company India that analyzed which are the most essential elements that influence the recruiting process as well as how workers feel about the recruitment and selection method. Next is research by Dr. Ahmad Al-Batat and Muna Fatmah in 2020, Factor Affecting Recruitment and Selection Practice on Performance of Civil Service Organization in Maldives, that the purpose of this research is to look at the aspects that have an impact on organizational success when it comes to recruiting and selection practice. These 2 research have same research gap, which is failed to mention how important recruiting and selection are, and this research will fill that gap. Then is objective. The main objective for the research is to study the selective factor affecting the success of recruitment selection. The specific objective for this research are to investigate the candidate's educational background affecting the success of recruitment selection. Second is to identify the candidate's character affecting the success of recruitment selection. And lastly is to investigate the degree of experience and capability affecting the success of recruitment selection. So next thing is the research question. Research question have 3, which is firstly, is there a relationship between candidates' educational background with recruitment and selection process? Second is there a relationship between candidates' characteristic with recruitment and selection success. And the third is there a relationship between degree of experience and capability with the recruitment and selection process. Now, we go to the hypothesis. There are three hypotheses in this research, which is firstly the purpose between candidates' educational background with the success of recruitment and selection. Second is the purpose between candidates' characteristic with the success of recruitment and selection. And lastly is the purpose between degree of experience and capability with the success of recruitment and selection. Then is a conceptual framework. There are independent variable and dependent variable, which is the independent variable in this research have three, which is firstly is educational background, secondly is candidate's characteristic, and third is degree of experience and capability. For the dependent variable is the success of recruitment and selection. Next is distribution of study. To the practitioner, several organizations can get a knowledge about the factor and may use when recruitment for company occurs. Then, is for the future researcher can allow this methodology and instrument employed for their research also can do it in qualitative research because in this research do in quantitative. Lastly, for knowledge field can give a knowledge especially for the people that do not know before. Now, we go into the chapter 2, which is literature review. For this research, I have used 5 past research that may useful to my research. Firstly, is a factor considered in recruitment and selection of top manager at Utali College. This research is very useful for my research, and this past research was studied on considered factor on recruitment and selection at Utali College. The finding revealed level of expertise, knowledge, technical know-how, confidence, remuneration, physical attributes, legislation diversity, candidate health, nature of job were relevant factors considered in the recruitment and selection process. In the second article, the study gives a useful insight into critical organizations, evidence, and contributes to finding the gaps in recruitment and selection practice on the performance of civil service organization. Third article results show that the factor including family pressures of the directors, interference of the people involved in the process, political interference, capability of the interviewer design the test, and candidate's perception regarding the possibility of getting job have significant influence on the recruitment and selection process. Now, we go to the theory. Ramey Barney, 1991, proposed the resource-based view, which states that a corporation may gain a competitive edge over competitors by hiring individuals with inimitable, distinctive abilities. This goes for to say that a constant review of available workforce is required to guarantee that the company has individuals with the expertise, technical know-how, and attitude required for the task. Then, from Sparrow 2002, recruiting qualified and skilled human resource to implement these technologies necessitate excellent process and regulations. And lastly, according to Teixeira 2002, who connects human beings to machines and other firm assets in his human capital theory, claimed company capital since they have the expertise, technical know-how, and capacities to attract costs and produce profits. Now, we move on to the chapter 3, which is research methodology. On the research design, according to Troshing, connects the various portions of a study together and provides a framework for responding to the study challenge. The descriptive method was used to effectively answer to the study problem. The use of survey form is a strategy for gathering data and information for respondents. This questionnaire will be given to corporate personnel as part of a study plan that allows researchers to collect data using Google Forms. This approach or methods are especially valuable for researchers that want to blend data more precisely with less partiality and better quality by Creswell 2016. Second thing in the research design is population of study. This study involves 50 employees from Matang Vegetable Oil Manufacturing, Sdn Bhd. Then is data collection. The questionnaire has been distributed to the participant to answer it. The questionnaire will be divided into 4 parts. The first being the candidate's educational background, next candidate characteristics, and the fourth is the degree of experience and capability. Method answer are on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 is strongly disagree, 2 is disagree, 3 is neutral, 4 is agree, and 5 is strongly agree. Next is data analysis. In turn, the result of the respondent response information will be collected and analyzed. All of the data were analyzed using statistical package for social science software SPSS. The percentage were used to represent the responses. The consistency of the data from the completed questionnaire was reviewed. The items were coded for a simple use SPSS and were grouped depending on the respondent response. This method was chosen because it is the most effective tool for identifying, comparing, describing, and drawing conclusions. So that's all from my presentation, and thank you.